Most founders think investors reject business ideas. In reality, investors usually reject documents. And the frustrating part is that many founders never even realize where confidence was lost, because by the time the meeting ends, the investor is already mentally out. This deck is about the exact section patterns that quietly destroy credibility, even when the underlying business is actually solid. And if you want the deeper framework and worksheets behind this breakdown, the full PDF workbook is linked below. We're going to unpack 5 specific problems that repeatedly weaken investor confidence. Not just bad writing, structural mistakes that signal weak thinking. We'll cover why executive summaries fail, why market sizing often backfires, why projections lose credibility, and the final audit most founders skip completely. If this kind of practical breakdown is useful to you, subscribe and turn notifications on, because the next videos go much deeper into how investors actually evaluate business systems behind the scenes. The first thing to understand is this: investors usually reject the document before they reject the business. Many plans are filtered out within the first 5 or 10 minutes, not because the opportunity was terrible, but because the argument never became convincing. Founders often confuse describing a business with proving why it deserves capital. Those are completely different things. Airbnb's early pitch deck worked partly because it was painfully clear about the problem, the behavior change, and the market logic. Simple beats complicated when the logic is strong. And this leads directly into the section where most of that judgment happens almost immediately. The executive summary is not an introduction. It's a filter. Investors are subconsciously asking 8 questions very quickly. What's the problem? Who has it? Why this solution? Why now? Why you? Why does this scale? Why should I believe the traction? And what exactly are you asking for? That's why the 8-sentence structure matters so much. Another major mistake is vague language. Phrases like innovative platform or revolutionary solution actually weaken credibility because they could apply to almost anything. Specificity creates trust. Numbers, customer types, and named markets create clarity. A useful test is simple. Could a stranger explain your business back to someone else after one read? If not, the summary is still too blurry. I'm curious whether you've seen this happen in real pitches or plans you've reviewed, because this section quietly eliminates more businesses than most people realize. Now, here's the section that instantly exposes amateur thinking: market sizing. The classic, we only need 2% of a $10 billion market argument sounds impressive at first, but experienced investors almost ignore it because it says nothing about customer acquisition reality. What matters is whether your system can actually reach buyers consistently. Good market sizing works bottom up, not top down. Start with one customer, one channel, one conversion path, one realistic price point, then scale from there. Shopify grew by obsessing over small merchants first, not by claiming ownership of global e-commerce. The dangerous part is that top-down projections often feel strategic while you're building them, but they collapse the second someone asks where the customers actually come from. And if you've run into this problem yourself, drop your thoughts in the comments, because this is where many startup plans quietly lose investor trust. Financial projections fail for a similar reason. Founders often choose a revenue target first, then reverse engineer numbers to justify it. Investors can spot this immediately. Strong projections work the other way around. You model acquisition channels, churn, pricing, operating costs, and sales capacity, then the output emerges naturally from the assumptions. Every important driver should be visible. Hidden assumptions don't read as optimism, they read as risk. Netflix didn't become predictable because streaming was exciting. It became investable because subscriber behavior became measurable. That distinction matters more than most founders realize. And finally, even a strong plan can fail during the final audit stage. This is where investors checking whether the document is internally consistent. If the market numbers in one section don't match the TAM assumptions later, confidence drops. If your go-to-market strategy mentions hiring salespeople, but the financial model doesn't include compensation costs, confidence drops again. And one of the biggest mistakes is funding gaps, raising money that doesn't actually carry the business to the stated milestone. Investors notice disconnects faster than founders expect because they review patterns all day long. The core lesson behind all of this is simple. Investor-grade business plans are not descriptions. They are arguments. Every section should answer a question the investor is already asking before they need to ask it themselves. Subscribe if you want more breakdowns like this, and if you want the full framework, worksheets, and audit process behind everything we covered, the complete PDF workbook is linked below.